ANDERZÉN.
Alright guys, welcome back to channel ANDERZÉN. We're finally back in the E420 with the little man. It's been a while since you were in here, huh? When's the last time you were in this car?
It's fine, I know.
A triangle. That's the last time I was in here too. Feels like it, you know, Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, it's got me to work all week back and forth, so I figured it's time to cruise it with the little guy. We're gonna take it over to my parents' house right now, chill out for a little bit, and I got a little bit of work to do with like the shifter and a few other things, so I'll take you guys along for that, and yeah, we'll see you over there. Let's get a little cruising. Yay!
Peace!
Peace! Alright, we'll get some cruising footage for you guys.
Yeah. And all blue on the top.
Alright, let's start it up.
All blue on the top.
Oh god.
And all...
That wasn't good. What was up with that, dude? Confidence inspiring. Well guys, that wasn't the most confidence inspiring start, but it sounds like it's running just fine. So we're gonna get on the road, knock on wood. It'll do that every once in a while. I don't really know what the cause of that is, to be honest. Like just every like 10 start, it's done this since I've had it, but I don't know, sometimes you crank the key and you don't know what's gonna happen. But it doesn't do it often, thankfully. But yeah, like I said, not the most confidence inspiring thing, but because it's kind of been like that forever, I'm just gonna roll with it. Hey, what's mom doing? Hey, don't park right there. That's my wife in the W125. What's mom doing? She said she forgot the gift for the baby shower. Alright. Should we take the freeway or the back roads?
The freeway.
No way, dude. I'm taking the back roads. Guys, been cruising for a little bit. Car's warmed up. What song were we listening to? Huh? Yeah, right. My son's, well, one of his favorite songs is Life is a Highway. We were listening to Life is a Highway. Yeah. Okay, I'll play it again. Yeah. Car's running good. Knock on wood. There's a lot of that around. Going through bridle trails, huh? Oh, there's a horse over there. That's what you wanted? I read your mind, huh? Alright. He is like me in the fact that he likes to go fast in the cars sometimes. Yeah? Yeah? Alright, well, we'll catch you guys over there. Alright guys, we are here. We made it uneventful. Nice little cruise over. It's not raining right now, so that was nice. I'm considering maybe taking a look at the spark plugs while I'm here. Maybe swapping them out. They're easy to find, but I feel like that's one of the last little things that I haven't done. I know that, you know, supposedly they were done around the time I got the car, but it'd be good to just take a look at them. I meant to when I had the valve cover rough, I just never did. So maybe that's something we'll do today, and we'll see if I get the car in the garage and mess with the shifter like I said, but let's go ahead and start working on the car, whatever we end up doing. In the garage now with the E420. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna hold off on spark plugs right now or doing any of that because I can do that at home. That's easy enough, but the shifter stuff I gotta do over here because I need to lift the car up, jack it up. So I'm gonna take care of that. If we end up flying through it, then maybe I'll take a look at the spark plugs, but otherwise I'll do that at home. So what I want to do, number one, the first kind of step of operations, I guess. The shifter seems to kind of have either not enough drag or it needs to either be adjusted a little bit, because first and second it's not grinding at all. It's too notchy. It's not like aligned just correct. I can tell just from comparing it to the C55 and this one. I can just tell it's off by a little bit. It still goes into gear fine, especially once it gets warm and everything. It's pretty fluid, but it can be better. And I've been messing with it long enough and had the car long enough that I know how to make it better. I know that it can be better, so I might as well try. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lift it up. The first thing I will try to do is basically just tighten the bolts that are connecting the bottom of the Jacksmania shifter to the rod that I made. I'll tighten that up just a little bit, see what that feels like as far as drag goes, and that will also adjust the angle just a tiny bit. And then the next thing I will do if that doesn't work is pull the rod out and either adjust the angle of the solid bushing, or I also thought about throwing in this bushing from the stock Mercedes transmission. I would have to cut this down, and I don't know if it's the correct diameter, but I do think that I have something that will work if I want to do something like that. So it's something to play around with if I want to. It's a nice kind of silicone bushing, a lot more pliable, so that would be a little more forgiving in this car. Since the rest of the rod is all solid, this might help out quite a bit of the overall feel, I think. And then the other thing I have is this mounting boot. Now, I'm not going to use the metal ring off here or anything, but I mainly just wanted to throw something like this in for some sound deadening, basically, and just some protection so that we don't have a big, you know, gaping hole right in the center of the console right here where the shifter is now. So this would be a good thing. I'll either try to mount it below or above. We'll see once I do that, and also depends if I'm going to pull the shift rod off or not. But yeah, that's kind of the plan of everything. Enough talking, let's just jump into it, get the car jacked up and take a look. Oh, and also one other thing while I'm at it, speaking of the water intrusion that was happening, I've left the bottom carpet off just to continue to keep an eye on things. It's not been much of anything. Some of the wet spots you see right here are just from my feet, but I haven't noticed any significant water intrusion. So I did mount all the electric components like the GPS and the neutral safety switch, all that stuff. I used just some double-sided tape, mounted them to this side of the center console metal over there. Put that piece of carpeting back in, and eventually I'll put the lower one back in, but I am kind of certain at this point, you can see bunch of water in there where the VIN is. I'm kind of feeling like it's the windshield seal. I just have a feeling. It's my own feeling, but I think so. Also, why is that trim coming off? Weird. But yeah, that's something I'll have to keep an eye on. I need to clear the drains on the other sides. I still haven't done that, so maybe we can do that today too. But there's always a million jobs to do, guys. I gotta focus on priorities. So let's go. Okay, got the car jacked up. Got 2 jack stands back here and a couple at the front. The jack's still holding some tension. Water always spills through here, through the center drain, so I'm gonna try to wipe that up before I slide in there, and then we'll take a look. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look. I haven't been under here for quite a while, actually, so here's our transmission bracket that we made, combining a kind of 1/4-inch aluminum plate and the factory mount. Up top, I have the Creative Steel transmission mount. We got our exhaust bracket, you can see, and let's see what else. Here's our shift rod, which so in there's our Creative Steel transmission mount, and up top here you can see bottom of where the shifter is, and our shift rod. So I need to get my tools on each side of the drive shaft here, and I'll be able to loosen and tighten how I need to. But everything under here looks like it's doing pretty good. Our bar could use some help. I might throw some black paint on that so it doesn't keep rusting. We didn't coat it after we made that little exhaust bracket. But everything else looks pretty good. It's fairly dry, besides all the power steering fluid up there, which I know is a thing. But yeah, everything else looks good. Alright, you guys, I was just taking the boot off of the shifter, and I realized this was even a thing before, but this is most likely my issue right now. This little bushing right here is actually supposed to be inside of that bore, but it's come out, and this actually happened before as well. I can fit back in there. There we go. So I need to get that thing to stick in there permanently, because when it's not in there, it creates a ton of slop in the left and right movement of this piece, which this is not supposed to be able to move back and forth. That is the reverse lock bar, and that's what helps, you know, align the first and second shifts. That's why, man, I was like, it just felt really inconsistent in first and second. So if I can take that out, and I basically just need to like spread apart that bushing enough so when I put it in there, it's a nice tight fit and it's not going to come out. It's been a while since I fixed that and got it to stick, but definitely need to get it to stay in there permanently. So yeah, that's one thing, but that doesn't change. I still do want to adjust the drag of the shifter. I don't know if I'll be able to get into all the gears right now because the back wheels are on the ground, but yeah, I can tell that's already a big improvement right there. So I'll get that stapled down, and next thing, I'm hoping that all I need to do right now is just adjust the drag of the shifter. Hopeful, but we'll see. Alright guys, my stepdad's always getting these cool random lubricants from work, like office shipping pellets that basically don't get shipped out. But yeah, I've never heard of this stuff. Viscositine by Wins. Basically just like a lubricant, but I just sprayed some of that on the little shift bar there, or I mean reverse bar. So just with that, it'll make it a lot smoother, and I'm going to throw actually some white lithium grease on it as well, just to keep it lubricated. I figure if I can keep it lubricated, it won't let that pin, you know, get any friction on it and be forced out with this rod. So let's do that. All right, good old white lithium grease. Oh my goodness. Basically just smear that on everywhere we can. Not gonna hurt anything else, obviously. Put it down in the spring as well. All right. Give it a few clicks. Yeah, I don't really think that'll be much of an issue. All right, well that just solved, you know, a huge part of the problem. So next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to adjust the drag, and hopefully we can just be good with that, because to be honest, taking the shift rod off is kind of a bit of a pain. So let's do what we can. Alright guys, well, it was a tight squeeze down below, but use the Allen wrench and the swiveling wrench to basically adjust the drag, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'll show you guys. Oops, there's 6. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, and reverse. Okay, I am pretty happy with that. I don't really feel like it needs to be adjusted more than that. Maybe? I don't think so. It's pretty good the way it is. I should probably leave it the way it is. If I need to, if I want more drag on it, I can always adjust it later. Maybe I'll do just a skosh more. But this is definitely a lot better than before. It was just too loose feeling before. Like going in, you want a little bit of drag because it changes the feel. You don't want it all sloppy feeling. I'm gonna do a little bit more. Alright guys, well I adjusted it more and it felt tighter at first, but I think what's happening is that bolt can basically only tighten to a certain amount, and then it kind of like ends up loosening itself because of the bearings. Or maybe the bearings just get used to it and they start adjusting. So I think we're good where it's at. It feels fine. Yeah, I will leave it as such for now. Maybe on another day I'll pull it out and see if I want to put that silicone bushing in, but I'm pretty happy with it for now. So cool. That's the coolest part. Still love this. One of my favorite parts about the whole project. Alright guys, next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm not even going to try to mount this underneath. I think I'm going to end up doing a little bit different situation.
Just do it!
Overall, but I'm going to end up trying to use this kind of as like a shift boot itself. It fits pretty good, like right underneath the wood grain opening. So I'm going to go ahead and bore this hole out a little bit more so it can fit over the shifter, and just kind of let it sit on top of things, because even that will help a little bit with the sound insulation. Well guys, try to make this work. I just don't think it's going to though. It's get it onto the shifter and everything, but it's just not lining up correctly, obviously. You guys can see that it's like way past where it needs to be. Even if I lifted up the wood piece to let it slide underneath, is just not the correct spot that it needs to be in. So I am not going to worry about this right now. I can always do a little bit more sound deadening. I'll take a look underneath real quick and see what we could do. Maybe on the bottom side, maybe I can mount this down there, maybe like split it and then put it underneath. I don't know. Let me take a look real quick. Well guys, I came up with a solution, but it's not exactly the most pro level, but maybe Oh god, no. It came out all over the place. I basically just wedged it in there. I don't know if I'll leave it now. Before it was positioned nicely, but I think, especially when it goes into reverse, it's hitting quite a bit. But otherwise, it actually like sits in there. It's not going to move anywhere. Oh my gosh, so tight working in here. So she's trying to hold the camera. I mean, if I wanted a little bit of something, I can leave it there, I guess. It's not going to hurt anything. So maybe I will. I'll just leave it there. It's not going to come out on its own. It's pretty wedged in. It still lets everything move just fine. So I guess I'll leave it there for now. Alright guys, made one last iteration to it, or change to it. Cut off a little section there, and now it glides nice and easy through all the gears, and it's actually a smaller overall opening than it was before. So I also pegged it on one of the little holes, so it's definitely not going to go anywhere, and it will reduce quite a bit of noise to the cabin, I would assume, just taking that hole down basically from like, you know, maybe a 4-inch overall gap to now like, you know, 1.5 inches, couple inches. So cool little fix. Well, I think that's all the work we're gonna do right now, guys. I'm gonna get this thing back on the ground, get it home, and maybe something else we'll look into. I don't know, could be this video or another video. We'll pull the spark plugs and get those replaced if they're not looking too good. Maybe just replace them no matter what, but we'll see. But anyways, we'll catch you guys on the cruise home. The GoPro's battery is getting low, so I'll save the last little bit for my reviews while I'm shifting. All right, guys, we're just heading out. Nighttime and raining. Ended up staying at my parents' for quite a while, but we'll see how the changes feel. I'm also curious with that weird startup earlier, what the car is going to start up like right now. I definitely want to take a look at the spark plugs. Didn't get a chance to today, but we will. Yeah, totally fine. So anyways, we'll keep our eye on it. I got my spark plug tool to check the gaps. If the plugs do look okay, I'll re-gap them. Otherwise, we'll just throw a new set in. On another note, way less noisy in here with that boot underneath right now, like way less, which is cool. Makes it a lot nicer in here. So with the proper boot, I still need to make the trim bezel. I have 2 of them basically that I'm going to combine and make into one, or I'll just 3D print something to do a surround. Proper bezel, actual shift boot, like nice leather one, and we'll be good to go as far as that goes. I'm gonna warm this thing up, and then Son and I will head home. Alright, you guys, we are heading home right now, and so far, shifter changes feel pretty good. Still think that maybe eventually I would like to switch out the solid bushings for that bushing that I have, or some type of polyurethane bushing. I just feel like in this specific setup, the solid one doesn't work as nicely. I mean, it still works fine, but just like for the daily cruiser this car is, I'd rather have it be a little more soft as far as that goes. But the noise insulation is significantly improved. Feels way better right now, or just sounds way better in the car right now. I can actually hear and don't have all that noise coming into the cabin through that big hole in the middle. So still definitely there, but considerably less than before.